Hi there, I'm Barb and I'm from Small House Blessings. This is my second FlossTube video and I'm so glad that you're here with me. Today I'm going to open something that I just bought from Amazon, and it's a kit. I have been stitching off and on for years and I have never used a kit. But there's a reason why I'm doing so today. So I wanted to bring it out and start by showing it to you and kind of do a little review about it. I am in St. Petersburg, Florida area, and we are waiting potentially a Category 3 hurricane in about 4 days. I didn't have time to go to my local craft store, like a stitching store, and pick up something. I needed something quick. And I decided to take my chances on this kit by Jan Lynn. And I absolutely love the saying. It says, "Blessed is the life that finds joy in the journey." And I wanted something quick, and I wanted something where I had all the supplies. I didn't have to worry about going to multiple stores. And I thought, I'm gonna give this a try. Now, it got mixed reviews. A lot of people said the fabric was cheap. Some people said that the thread was cheap and it was hard to work with. Not DMC threads. I don't particularly like kits because I'm a little bit nervous. What if I run out of brown? A lot of times my thread will get all tangled up and I'll end up throwing away what could be used to stitch quite a bit. So I'm gonna have to be really careful with this. But I thought that I would open it up, and as you can see behind me, you might be able to see that back there is our screen room, and there are plywood boards all over it. So it's kind of a scary time for us here, but I'm trusting that God is going to bring us through and that it will be okay. But I needed something to stitch while I was sitting here stressing, to be honest. So again, this is it. This is a really pretty chart. This whole thing, the kit, was about $15, and I know that I would probably spend at least $8 for just this pattern. So I figured even if it's terrible and I end up using my own floss, it's still worth it to have this. So this is what it looks like. Put it up there. And I just love that look, that kind of like colonial, early American look. So I'm excited to stitch that. It also looks pretty easy. Now it came with that. And here is the pattern. I'll have to put it that way because it's pretty big, and I like that. It should be very easy to read. These threads, the floss here, I wanted to show you this. It is separated. Some people said that it wasn't separated, but it does appear to be separated, and I see how this works. There we go. But it's just numbered. And actually, it is numbered on here too, if you can see that. The numbers 1 through 12 are there. So I assume that that is the numbers 1 through 12 here. So hopefully I will have enough floss and that it won't get too tangled to where it rips and I run out of it. This is my Aida cloth that came with it. And one thing I don't also like about kits is I don't like my Aida cloth to be folded because I really have to work hard to get that seam out. And for me, it never seems to really come out fully. If anyone has any tips about that, I would love to hear them. But I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna try the kit. It was very nice to be all inclusive. And hopefully this will get me through Hurricane Ian, and we'll come out on the other side doing really well. So thank you for joining me. I'll be back after I stitch this up to talk more and to give a review about the kit from Jan Lynn. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in a few. Hi there, it's Barb again, and I'm so glad that you're here and listening to my video. I wanted to just come in with an update on how I'm doing with my kit. And it's this kit right here that I've been working on. The hurricane came to our area, but about 2 hours south, and my heart just breaks for all of those people down there in the Sanibel, Fort Myers area. We actually went on our honeymoon to Sanibel, and it just breaks my heart what's happened down there. But I am glad that we're safe and doing okay here. My prayers are with those people. But anyway, I was glad to have something to stitch while I was doing all this too. And as I told you before, I started with the kit, and I showed you all the components, and I'll tell you what I have found according to my working with this kit. This was the start of it. This is the actual fabric, and this was the first bit that I did with the green. And to start with, I was talking about the fabric and how it had creases in it. I put this fabric through the washer, through the dryer, wet it, ironed it, and I can still see some creases. Not that that would be awful. I thought, let's go with it. Well, and the fabric's really not bad. Somebody complained and said that the fabric wasn't very good quality, that it seemed cheap. It does seem a little cheap, but I think it's fine. I'm gonna save it and use it for another project. Once I started and got this far with it, I thought to myself, I'm not gonna be happy with the color. So I switched fabrics. I used something that I had on hand, which was this just inexpensive, I think I got it at Walmart, Carolina linen Aida, and it is 14 count, so the size would stay the same. And I found something interesting that happened. This is the Carolina linen, and when I pulled it out of the bag, I noticed that it was really, really hard. And I decided to not use a circular frame for it, but rather, and the other thing is, I always use this, and it really, I needed it to be a little bit longer. This is a 10-inch frame, and I needed a 12-inch frame just to make sure that I had enough on all my sides. So I didn't have a frame to put it in, and what I discovered, because this Carolina linen was so stiff, that I actually started stitching just without a frame of any kind. And it was super easy. I just kind of like did it around the edges, and then as I got to the house, I rolled it down a little bit, and I found something really cool that I didn't know, and maybe a lot of other stitchers know this and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe you just discovered this. But one thing I found that makes it really easy to not use a frame, or you could probably do this with the lightweight hoop frames, is I found a really quick way to stitch. And that is by simply, I got this started, flipping. Now you're going to see the reverse side of this, but rather than when I have it on a frame, I'm always kind of poking, trying to find the back hole to come in, and usually it takes 2 or 3 pokes. Sometimes it's one and I'm good to go. But working without a cross stitch frame or brace of any kind, I found it very easy to just flip the fabric back and forth. And I'm amazed at how much quicker I can stitch. And I'm just gonna do a little example. Let me try to get this on camera. So I'm back here and I just flip it. This is my front I'm looking at, and then I just flip it and I go in the back, and I can see right where I'm supposed to go in, and then I flip it back and forth. And I am just amazed at how much quicker I can go doing it with this technique. And I'd love to hear from other people. Do you flip your fabric back and forth to find the holes that you need to go in? Or do you do like I did for so many years and just kind of poke it through? So I am super thrilled with that. I do find that that technique works better with something like a house where you go back and forth and you can really see your pattern on the other side going in a certain direction, and it's easy to follow. It's a little bit harder with something like the tree. It's like, do I go up or do I go down? And you have to pay a lot more attention. So my fabric is getting a little bit not as tight and stiff. It's getting a little bit looser. And now I'm deciding whether I want to put it on a frame or not to finish it off. Because I do have a lot of this work in here that's just like one stitch here and one stitch there. So what I did find on eBay, and I wanted to share with you, is they don't make these frames anymore, and I dearly love them. I find them easy to hold. I love how they hold my fabric very tight, and I don't have to worry about it getting creased. So I really like that. And the kind that I like, actually, you do have to baste. And I know that no basting frames came out for a while, but I love the basting. I usually just will do a sewing machine stitch across there, and it stays very tight and taut for the entire time that I need the fabric on there. But like I said, this wasn't wide enough. So on eBay, I was able to find a starter kit, and this is an 8-inch, is it 8 or 10? I think it might be a 10-inch frame, or, well, this part is 10 inches, and I needed one that was 12 inches. So I found this, and I was super excited because they don't make these anymore. Apparently they were discontinued they went like from the 90s to the 2000s. So I'm just opening this up right now, and I've got my 4 knobs. And let's see, I think this came all the way from Indiana. It's probably sitting in someone's attic or basement for all those years. And I am absolutely thrilled to get it. It was about $50 with shipping. They had some that were cheaper, but one didn't have all the knobs, and this one has all the sizes. So I'm super excited about that. I can use it for, it has some little bit of a stain on it, but that's okay. Has the small ones. These are like 5 or 6 inches. And then these are the bigger ones. So I'd love to know if anybody else uses these. And again, I'd like to know what everybody does to get the creases out if you are using a hoop frame, because I do really like this. It's very easy to flip it back and forth. So I don't know that I'd ever use these. These are like, I don't know, 16 or 18 inches. But these are what I'm really excited about. These are the 12 inches, and they're going to be perfect for my project that I'm working on now. You can see they're just a little bit longer, and that's exactly what I need. So I really like the flip switching technique. It might be called something else, sort of a newbie getting back into cross stitch. And I just would love to hear from people to know if you flip your fabric back and forth, or if you just do it by feeling in the back. So I have got a little bit of, I wanted to show you all this before I put it on the new braces that I got. I probably will do that and then finish the middle and come back and just quickly show you that. I have been searching for frames at thrift stores to try to defray some of my costs, and this is a very unusual size, and I think I could mount it and make a pillow out of it, and that would be inexpensive. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is having it a frame professionally made. I don't think that I need to have it professionally framed, so I'm going to give that a try. I'm going to go to a store and just give them the dimensions and see if I can do it that way, and that should save me a little bit of money because I think I can take it from there. But I did want to show you, as I have been out thrifting, and I go thrifting almost, not every day, maybe 3-4 times a week, and we have a small antique store, my mom and I wanted to share with you some of the things that I'm buying for upcoming projects that I'd like to be able to make projects and don't want to spend a ton of money, finishing them. So I have some different ideas, and I wanted to just show you so that when you're out thrifting, you might be able to see some of the similar things and say, hey, I can do that. So one of the things I found this week was this ball jar at the thrift store for $1.99. And I have an idea that I've seen a lot of people do this, and I'm sure everybody has, but you just put like a little bit of stuffing and then put your cross stitch over the top. And I thought I would find an inexpensive or free pattern of some flowers, and then I was going to fill the jar with some candies and put a ribbon around it, either for my mom for Mother's Day or maybe to send it up to my daughter in college. So that's one thing. I got this thing for half price. It was $6. I got it for $3 on half price Monday at the Salvation Army. And what I love about this is the outer part. Not so much this part's going to go, but the outer part, as you can see, it's scalloped. And I really, really like that. I may use it for a snow scene where there might be some gray in it, but I just love that scallop. And then on the back with these little lever things, it's real easy to take this part out. So I've got a frame there that I think is really cute for $3, and I may even be able to flip this around and utilize this part with the writing on it to put my design on, to mount my work on. So I'm gonna consider that. And then I've got some other, well, this is sort of normal. Then I've got a couple funky things. I bought this frame for $1.99, and I really like this because it's square. Now I don't do a lot of white. Most of my work is darker. That's why I switched to this fabric here, because I just don't really like the color white. There's like not much white in my house at all. But why I liked this is it's square, and I believe that I'm going to try to paint it and use a crackle paint on it, like maybe paint it black and then put like an off-white crackle over the top. I know that was popular years ago, but I still like that old-fashioned looking country look. So I've got a good frame here. I think it's like 8 by 8, and I only paid $2 for that. And I wanted to show you two other things. This I found at a yard sale, and it's so cute. It is made in China, but if you can see the lace and the Walmart tag on it is so old-fashioned. So like what year did Walmart stop selling things like this? It must have been at least from the 80s. But I think it's so super cute. And what I'd like to kind of have a vision for with this, I'm going to take this tag off and maybe gather it a little, and then have a circular cross-stitched piece in the middle and use this old-fashioned vintage lace to go around it. And I don't know how much we had this in our antique booth, and it didn't sell, and we're actually closing down our antique booth because the store is doing something different. So I salvaged this, and I said I want to use this in my scrapbooking, or not scrapbooking, my cross-stitching. The last thing I wanted to show you is this basket, and I just fell in love with this basket. Most of my baskets that I have are very older, vintage, willow type baskets, and I don't really go for the shaped baskets that much. But this is one that, oh, do I even have a price on it? I don't think I paid more than $4 for this. And as you can see, it's pretty big. And so I have a vision for this to maybe cross-stitch something either in a banner going across here, or maybe just one solid square and putting some flowers in there. So that would be a really fun way to finish a piece too. So, you know, one thing I forgot to mention so far too, the threads are perfect. I believe they are DMC threads. I'm not having any trouble at all with them. It's very easy to find the thread that you need. And I wanted to share with you too, one thing that I do. I have this basket, which is a nice oak basket, and this is where I keep my current project, and I keep it on the sofa, much to my dog's chagrin, because she can't walk around from one end of the sofa to the other very well. but it's one of my favorites. And one thing that I do, because I don't have spools like I normally would with my DMC, once I pull one of these out, and a lot of these colors are similar, once I pull one of these out, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to put it somewhere and then not know where it is. Sometimes I will put it back in if I'm close to finishing with that color. But just a little thing that I've been doing, this happens to have handle holes, and I've been wrapping them, my pieces that I haven't used yet, around here. Like these are for the rooftop, these are my greens for the roof, and I have to do the windows in that. So I thought that was a cute idea I wanted to share with you. But yeah, I do really like this kit. I like it a lot. I did want to share one thing too, that a lot of people said that in the reviews that the house looked yellow compared to the way it looked on the pattern front, and I wanted to just hold that up, and you can definitely see that that's the case. I'm really happy with the way it looks. I love how muted the colors are, and I think it looks really good, but if you were expecting it to look just like this, it doesn't. So anyway, I will be back and share my finished product with you. I don't know if I will be able to get it framed before I come back and upload this video, but I want to at least get it finished and then show you that, and we'll go from there. I do have a blog called Small House Blessings, and I just post, I call it like a cute and cozy, crafty kind of place, and I post just a little of everything on there. So I will have this finished. Once I finish it, I will have it on my blog, and I'll take a picture of it and then upload this video to it too. So anyway, thank you so much for being here. It's been nice, all of your comments. I've had several comments on my first video, and that was just really sweet to hear from people out there. And any advice you have for me getting back into this, let me know if anybody else just rolls their fabric and stitches like that. I'm tempted to finish it like that, but I do think I'm going to mount it. So I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, well, here I am again, and I have just completed my project, and I'm super excited because it was a pretty big one for me. I thought I would be here a lot longer with Hurricane Irma, but it really missed us. So, or Ian. Irma was like 5 years ago. All the hurricanes tend to get us. But I wanted to just show you my progress so far and tell you what I'm going to do today. I did end up putting this piece back on the brace frame that I got on eBay, and I absolutely love these. And this one has been sitting around a while in someone's attic probably, or basement in Indiana where I got it from. So it's not super lubricated, but this is my finished product, and I am so pleased with it. I wanted to point out a couple things that I did in addition to a few mistakes. I did put my initials here and here, my initials and the year right on the project, as opposed to down here. I was not able to find a frame for it, not that matched perfectly. And since it is such a nice piece and I worked so hard on it, I am going to take it up to a store today. It's a cross-stitch / framing store, and I have no idea how much they're going to charge me to professionally frame it, but I am going to have that done. And to talk a little bit more about these frames or braces, whatever you call them, I did do a basting stitch, and I did it with my sewing machine. So it was super easy, and it's super easy to just go across. I'm trying to get my hands out of the way with a seam ripper and rip that off at the end. And almost there. I'll just do this one side to keep the video a little shorter. But this stuff really holds up well when it comes to being sewn with a sewing machine. And then one of the things I try to do to make it a little bit easier to get this out. I guess I've got a main thread here, and then you've got all these little threads, and I just use a piece of tape to kind of pull them out like so. And then she'll be ready for my next project. But actually my next project are miniature Christmas ornaments, and I will go over that just real quickly. I'm very excited about it because I've got some cool ways to store and use the thread, but I'll show that to you in a minute. So I will report back one more time after I go today. Hopefully the framing will not take very long. I expect it to be over $50, but I'm excited to get this piece framed and hung on my wall. Hi again, it's me, Barb, and I'm back with my finished product. Today I went to the frame store and I picked up my work, and I'm so excited about it. I wanted to show you what it looked like, and then I'm going to talk about the cost, because that was one thing that getting back into cross stitching, I wasn't really sure how much it would cost to frame this professionally. I wasn't sure if I should go to someplace like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or go to a small frame shop that's a local mom and pop shop. I chose the latter, and I am so glad I did. Here is my work, and I am just in love with it. I think the frame that I chose is beautiful. I don't know if it will really show up on this film, but it almost looks like it has two colors, a darker brown, and then it looks like it's brushed with either a gold or something like that. But I totally love this. I am so thrilled with how it looks. In the past, when I made things, I never made anything and kept them. I always gave them away. And I think back to when I used to cross stitch in like the 80s and 90s. I don't have anything from that era, and it's kind of sad. So I'm starting something new. I'm going to start keeping my work. I'll give some of it away, but definitely keep some of it. And I'm just super thrilled. I love the colors, not only of the Aida cloth, which I told you this is not what came with the kit, and the colors of the floss and then the frame. I think it is just so pretty. So having said all that, it was like almost $100 to have this framed, and there's no puffiness. It didn't need any. For those of you who aren't familiar, a lot of times people frame things and it's like a little pillow underneath it, and they actually have to hand pin that down and then put it in the frame like that, and it's a really nice feature. But the other ones that I have, ones that I didn't make, don't have that. So I figured I wanted this to look good with the ones that I currently have. So I was just really surprised. I was kind of expecting $60, $70. This is roughly, I think it's roughly like maybe, it's roughly about like, it's no bigger. I think it's like an 11 by 14, if I had to guess, roughly around there. I wanted to show you the back. They did a beautiful job. They put a nice hanger on it, and this is all, you know, nicely secured. It has these little tabs at the bottom to keep it from banging up against the wall. And the other thing I noticed about it, it's really lightweight. Whatever is inside, I guess that's because it doesn't have glass. I didn't want glass. I like the rustic nature of it. I know I'm gonna have to, like, you know, dust it, but I'm really pleased with it. But I did think that I can't spend like $95 every time I do a project. So one of the things, well, before I get on to that, I did want to tell you that as far as giving the kit a review, I had plenty of floss left over, and I was very careful with it, but that was one thing that I was concerned of with the kit. And somebody said it didn't come with a needle, and it did. So I highly recommend the kit. I'll put a link to the kit down below. I got it on Amazon because, like I said, I needed it quickly because the hurricane was coming, but I know they have it on, I think, is it 1, 2, 3 Stitch? I haven't ordered from them yet, but it's on my list of things to do. But getting back to talking about frames, one of the things I'm going to try to do as a stitcher is try to find pretty frames like this. I'm sorry about the glare. I'm going to tip it so that it might not glare too much. But this I picked up at the thrift store for $8. And this was professionally framed somewhere. And I'm going to try to take this frame apart and get out the glass and what's in here and make something that would fit in here so that I don't have to spend $100 on a frame. I'm going to just try to supplement my income a little bit by doing this. And one of the things that I look for isn't just like any frame. Like this one is really, really pretty. It has like a beaded edge and the gold is really pretty. And I think that if I made something and put it in here, it would look really nice next to that. So I'm trying to not buy frames that are just like a solid brown. There are some things that would look really good in a solid brown frame, but I'm looking for really pretty frames that I can take apart and kind of upcycle the frame to defray some of the costs of framing. So I will do that on another video and let you know how that goes. So, but thank you for watching. If you've watched this whole thing, that's wonderful. I did want to pass along just two little things: the color chart and the picture of it, and then this. And I believe this is legal for me to do. It's not a duplicate. I didn't photocopy it. This is what came with the kit. And I will not be doing this again because I already have it, and I like to do a variety of things. So if you are interested in me mailing you this, I would love to do that. I have never done this before. So if you'll write down in the comments something like, you know, oh, I would love to have that chart. Please only take it if you really like the chart and want to do it. And I will not be including this because this is a tangled mess at the end. And you can use your own colors. The colors are right on here. The DMC colors that you will need are right here. So you would be able to go out, if you don't have these, you'll be able to go out and buy those. But I would love to pass this on to you. It's not in the total greatest shape because I did pick it up like, I don't know, 150 times or something. But I would love to pass this along. Now, like I said, I've never done this before and I don't know exactly how it works. If you'll write in the comment, I will randomly pick a person's name and then I will write back to you in that comment, and then I'll say something like, please message me with your information. And I think what I'll do is I'll just like write out my email and then somebody can just email me and then I'll mail it to you. So the little giveaway would just be for this color picture and the chart to go with it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful to you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.